Before the release of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, I made a prediction about the co-op, saying it was either going to be incredible or absolutely awful. So the big question is, how did it turn out? As both Carly and I are huge Pokemon fans, we were excited to find out 9 months ago that another Pokemon game was coming this year, after we already had the release of Pokemon Legends Arceus. The hype for this game was intense. Carly loved the reveal of the starters, and when the second trailer came out announcing an open world and 4-player co-op, the Pokemon community went insane, and we, as a co-op centered channel, were also really excited. As months passed, more trailers and news continued to come out until we picked the game up on release day and started live streaming it as soon as we could. Welcome everybody, we are playing Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, only to find that the co-op was inaccessible for the first hour of the game. The amount of cutscenes and dialogue we had to go through kept us from being able to connect our games for what seemed like ages because of our anticipation. Aside from the rather small obstacle of having to repeatedly click the A button over and over again, we ran into a couple of issues just with connecting together. Because we're not rolling in dough and play most of our games in couch co-op, we don't have the Nintendo Switch Online membership, so we chose to play together using the local wireless feature. We cannot speak for how well the online process works, but we had a ton of difficulty connecting via local wireless. I would form a group and Carly would attempt to join using the provided code, only to repeatedly get a "no groups found" message. This happened frequently every time we tried to connect, and we had to keep trying until we eventually got it to work. Though we did find a higher success rate using the in-menu Pokeportal rather than the Union Circle at the Poke Center, but that may have just been a coincidence, I don't know. After connecting our games together, we set off and played for more hours than I care to admit before even defeating the first gym. We were loving the game, catching Pokemon left and right, and exploring each nook and cranny of the open world. However, along that entire journey, there wasn't really anything for us to do. So let's talk about what you can do and when. After the initial first hour of gameplay, you will reach the first Poke Center, where you'll find the Union Circle, allowing you to play together. After this, you'll unlock the Pokeportal in your menu and can then use any of the online features. These include the standard battling and trading, as well as 2 new features, being the Union Circle, which allows you to join and play in each other's worlds, and the Terra raid battle, which is basically the same thing as the Dynamax raids in Pokemon Sword and Shield, and that will unlock a little. Aside from these Pokeportal features, there are a couple of other things you can do. The main and most obvious thing you can do is see each other. You can walk through the Pokemon fields together, find new Pokemon, point them out to each other, see each other's walking partner Pokemon, and most helpful of all, if you're playing with 2 different versions of the game, then you will be able to see the other version's exclusive Pokemon as well as your own, as long as you are together. I got you!
What the heck, dude?
Sorry, you were so beautiful, I thought you were a shiny Pokemon. Another somewhat hidden feature you can do together is the picnics. The player joining the picnic has a very limited amount of things they can do, but you can craft a sandwich together and both enjoy the benefit. However, this is a pretty uninteresting part of the game to begin with, and the joining player only gets to help put the first ingredient on, which consists of moving 1 or 2 items onto the bread. Before we talk about the Terra raid battles, I want to let you guys know that this shirt is 25% off for the holidays, and not just this shirt, but all of our co-op gaming merch, so you could get this one, but with some Joy-Con controllers instead. So go ahead and make somebody very happy this holiday and head over to thecoopstop.com or click the first link in the description. The last thing you get to do together is Terra raid battles. These unlock once you leave your school and set off on the treasure hunt. They are handled very similarly to Dynamax raids, except you're able to find them throughout the entire world rather than just in one isolated wild area. This is the only opportunity you will have in the entire game to work together, and you use it to defeat Terra Pokemon and catch them. The nice thing about Terra raids was that you were able to join them no matter where in the world you were, and afterward it would put you right back where you were before. However, we did get a little frustrated that we could not start each other's raids. I would head off towards a Terra Crystal, excited to take it on, only to get the message that this is Carly's Crystal, and I can't actually do anything with it. I mean, why even show it to me if I'm not going to be able to interact with it in any way? These raids tend to go by pretty fast and only happen occasionally. So while they're fun to do, they hardly make a good co-op experience in a game as large as these are, especially since this, like battling and trading, is available to do outside of co-op in the first place. Now don't get me wrong, co-op works pretty flawlessly, other than a couple issues connecting and a disconnection here and there. We get to pop into each other's worlds with little to no issue, but sadly, that's about it. You see, the word co-op, as I'm sure you know, is short for cooperative. Co-op games are designed in a way that allows you to work together to accomplish goals, complete tasks, and beat the game. And that is where the quote-unquote co-op fails. To us, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet hardly even qualifies as a multiplayer game, much less the cooperative game that everybody was excited about. However, this is just our opinion. There are going to be people out there who absolutely love this and think it's the greatest thing ever. But to us, simply being able to coexist in the same world and occasionally seeing each other does not a co-op game make. Playing Pokemon Violet and Scarlet in co-op was hardly any different than just sitting on the couch next to each other playing the same game. In fact, we actually often did just that, not even bothering to connect because we were out in the open world doing whatever we wanted, which meant it was not worth going through the struggle of connecting. And when we did play together, it actually sometimes detracted from the experience because it added unneeded pressure to try to stay together, rather than just going off and doing what we wanted. Because if we didn't stay together, then why even bother connecting? In this way, the game being open world was actually a bit of a disadvantage because we would have at least enjoyed seeing each other often in a more linear structured game. The prediction I made before the games were released was based on the previous co-op experiences the Pokemon Company has given us. From the terrible experience found in Pokemon Let's Go to the Pokemon Shield Dynamax battles, and the fact that up to the release, we had hardly any information released about how multiplayer would work. But it turns out that they had actually revealed every multiplayer feature the game has to offer, and it's a very disappointing multiplayer experience. In fact, in way of cooperative play, I actually feel that the Let's Go games did it better, as bad as they were. At least there you were able to fight together and work together to catch Pokemon. We did take the opportunity while using 2 Switches and 2 copies of the game to actually fight each other after each gym and trade the occasional Pokemon, and for us this was quite the novel experience since we had previously only played one version of the game on one Nintendo Switch. And when I was growing up, I didn't have any friends, so I couldn't have done that before. But again, this was nothing special to Scarlet and Violet, as we could have done the exact same thing in pretty much any other Pokemon game. If you're wondering whether the multiplayer is worth buying another version of the game, it's possible. If you're planning on trying to catch them all, this could make it easier. But if you just want to play through and enjoy the campaign, then it's a pure and resounding no from us. However, we still had a fantastic experience playing the game at the same time, and we did enjoy being able to fight each other and hop into the occasional Terra raid battle. If you want a couch co-op game where you can actually work together, check out this video right here where we talk about some fantastic new games that just released. I love you guys, y'all are awesome, and go enjoy that one.